Your PDA buzzes. The tone is instantly familiar. Kindly Cheng is on the line. Pick up. Hello, dear. She swirls something the color of overripe plums from a rock's glass. I take it you've secured the Ares facility in Daibo. You're surprisingly well informed, Dante. Our dear friend Jomo has been very good about sending regular progress updates. It's part of his job there, you know. Yeah, Jomo. So tell me, what are they doing there? What is being stored in that warehouse? It's an armory. Ares is preparing to take over the Hong Kong police force. Ah, I see. There's a long pause. Kindly looks down into her drink, a contemplative look on her face. Finally, she raises it and takes another sip, then sets it down on a nearby table. I know that Chu has offered to restore your sin. Make a calm call to Mitsuhama Corporate and you get your old life back. I have a counter proposal for you. Of course you do, Auntie. I'd expect nothing less. Don't turn the warehouse over to anybody. Burn the fucker to the ground. You do this for me and you'll be set with the Yellow Lotus for life. Every privilege that you can imagine, every extravagance, however rare or expensive, it'll all be yours for the taking, all for the price of some gasoline in a match. Wait, burn it? Why? Turning that facility over to Mitsuhama won't stop Ares. It'll force their hand, push them into attempting an immediate takeover of the Hong Kong police force. The end result is likely to be long and bloody, and Mitsuhama will lose in the end anyway. Will they? Will they? If Ares macro technology is set on taking over the Hong Kong police force, nothing will stop them. They have the resources to succeed in the end, no matter how desperately Mitsuhama attempts to resist. Unless we resist, kindly Chang. I mean, it's not just Ares and Mitsuhama fighting. we can be part of the fight, right? We can play mercenary. Why not just let them do that? What does it matter if Ares controls the police? Use your head, dear. Under Mitsuhama, the Hong Kong police force was content to leave well enough alone when it came to the triads and their territories. They knew which neighborhoods were theirs and which were ours, and they did us the courtesy of keeping their noses out of our business. But if Ares were to take over, when Ares takes over, that could all change. They'll likely make a priority of replacing us with an organization that they've already got in their pocket, the 44 Knives perhaps, or the Red Dragon Syndicate. The Yellow Lotus would not survive such a change. No? Can't you take him on? Don't you have the ability to take him out? The old woman inspects her glass again, dipping a pinky down to tap at the ball of ice that floats in the center of her drink. It spins away from her finger. She closes her eyes with a sigh. One more thing, Auntie Zhong. That Jade Kong that you sent us to retrieve, it got broken during the transport. It's gone. Her eyes snap back open, and her cheeks flush red with rage. Who broke it? Was it Chu? Did that incompetent bitch drop my stone? In a manner of speaking, yes, she took it from me, and that made it her responsibility to protect it. She makes a visible effort to calm herself. SCKC, dear, when you burn the warehouse, see to it that Chu understands what it means to cross the Yellow Lotus. What it means to cost us money. I promise I'll do that, Auntie Zhong. Alright, fine. I'm gonna burn the warehouse down. I'm gonna kill Chu. She raises her glass to the screen and the voice goes cold. You've heard my offer, SCKC, and you know what I'm willing to pay. I pray that you'll make the right decision for all of our sakes. Kani Jung's image flickers on your PDA screen, then winks out of existence. The call has been terminated. Is that right? Chu struggles to lift herself into a kneeling position. As you approach, she looks up at you with red-rimmed, horribly bloodshot eyes. The veins in her temples are still throbbing, and you can see red crescents where her nails have bitten into the palms of her hands. ACKC is crate. She's gone. I convinced her to walk away. Her eyes widen. Walk away? How did you... Uh, Crate was just a merc doing a job. I talked to her on her own level. She shakes her head. Hell of a surprise. Guess it doesn't matter now though. Reach into my pocket, ACKC. Grab my PDA. I have something to... Can't keep it. I'm afraid there's been a change of plans. Change? What? I'm burning this place to the ground with you in it. If you're lucky, the smoke will kill you before the fire does. But why would you? Her eyes goes wide. She tries to struggle to her feet, but her arms shake like a newborn gazelle's. Because instead of just hiring me like a normal person, you knocked me out, kidnapped me, invaded my mind without my permission. And you were rude. Talk to me when I was helpless. Let me return the favor. Nah, I won't let you. Her legs buckle and she crumbles to the ground, her eyes rolling back. It looks like she's on the verge of blacking out. Alright, bye. Billowing clouds of smoke, of choking smoke fill the sky, stinging your eyes and clogging your nostrils. The fire that you set is doing its work nicely. Flames gout from the warehouse's windows, bathing you in waves of near unbearable heat. Things really going up, huh? Yeah, it's ammunition? Like when you burn weapons, it really goes. Her face glows yellow-orange in the flickering light. Auntie Chong should be pleased. Gun show sure as hell won't be, I promise you that. When he finds out that you've turned down Chu's offer, he's gonna be livid. um... That's his problem, not mine. I just want to get us the hell out of here. I know, but I didn't have much choice in the matter. I don't want my sin back, and I don't want to see an end to this team. Duncan and I both belong in the shadows, whether he wants to admit it or not. Honestly, Duncan doesn't belong in the shadows. I'm just gonna say this one. You did have a choice, SCKZ. You could have chosen your adoptive family over your team. In your position, many would have. I'm happy that you opted to stick with us, and if Duncan takes issue with that, then he can take it up with me. Kaiju. Duncan can always leave. Like, I'm not holding him here. He can always leave. Your comlink buzzes again. Captain Jomo's face winks onto the screen. Ahoy, my friend. You are finished with the warehouse. That much is plain as day. As is plain as day. Jomo can see the flames from where he stands. It is probably best that we get a move on, La. We don't want to be here when the owners of that warehouse comes a-calling. You're probably right. Are you taking us back to the Benteng? Yes, my friend, and from there directly onto the Big Texas. Kylie Cheng has informed me that big changes are afoot within her organization, and that we should prepare ourselves for a lengthy voyage aboard your fine ship. Jomo, the Big Texas isn't seaworthy. She's like a sieve with a rudder. Not anymore. Utama's men have been working tirelessly to repair her in your absence. Really. She isn't ready to set sail yet, but soon enough, she'll be perfectly capable of crossing the Pacific unaided. Crossing the Pacific? Jomo, where are we going? Oh, we're going to San Francisco? Why, to the new home of the Yellow Lotus, my friend. His smile gleams. Come now, we must go, but trust Jomo. All will be made clear in time. Really? We're going to San Francisco? Epilogue. The fire-wreathed warehouse burns at your back. The last of Ares and its legacy, soon to be nothing but a mound of embers. You return to Jomo and the drunken mistake. The pirate revs his engine and takes to the sea. So, like, military vehicles don't necessarily burn that easily, especially from the outside. If you want to burn them, you need to, like, set them on fire on the inside. Because like it's armored, it's an armored vehicle. It's kind of designed to take punishment. Anyway, it's not important. Your mind is a blur. Thoughts crashing through it, like the mistake crashes through the waves. Senior Inspector Chu is gone, her body left to burn in the warehouse. Your opportunity to flee back to your old life is gone, having died with Chu. Then Jomo's voice cuts through the din of your mind. You don't hear him at first, so he repeats himself. Duncan has left. Word travels fast in the shadows, and he's finished with you. So he's gone too. Alright, good, finally. The drunken mistake speeds away from the Daibo harbor, carrying you back towards the Benteng. It seems Kindly Cheng was right. You and your team have a long sea voyage ahead of you. Yeah, no. I wanted to kill Chu. The big Texas motors along, cutting through the choppy waves of the South China Sea. The coarse sounds of Captain Jomo's voice echoes down from the wheelhouse. He's singing a crude Indonesian sea shanty, and in between verses he barks with laughter. Well, he seems to be enjoying himself. Uh, hey, if the singing helps him to pilot this wreck, I'm all for it. I don't know, I kinda like it. It's atonal, and I can't understand the lyrics, but you can hear that he's happy. He sounds like a leopard seal with a sinus infection. Gaichu shakes his head. Sometimes this acute hearing of mine is a curse. 16 days of this will be challenging to endure. Do we have to talk about Duncan? I have no interest in talking about Duncan. Anyone else feels like the boat is a little empty these days? Corbett nods and shrugs languidly. I hear you, Seattle, but this is how it had to happen. This is the life that you chose for yourself. You're good at it, and you like it. Duncan doesn't. What did you expect him to do? I honestly expected him to die on one of these missions, because he's a liability. He's not cut out for this. Isabel shakes her head, sighing. Don't blame yourself, SKC. You're cut out for this life and he isn't. And the inverse is true. He had a normal life, you never did. What were you gonna do? Go be a clerk at a stuffer shack, sell tasers at Weapons World. Yeah, I can't really see it. I don't blame myself, Isabel. This game just assumes that you'll feel bad about it. No, Duncan is better off gone. He's not fit to be a Shadowrunner. He hasn't been from the beginning, and he still isn't. I don't regret this. Look to the future, not the past. That's how you progress into a better position in life. So tell me, my friend, what do you intend to do when we arrive in Seattle? Oh, we're going back to Seattle? Why are we going back to Seattle? After all the time we're spending in this tub, food. As soon as we get to port, I'm gonna hit an awkward restaurant called the Big Rhino. And Gobbet is coming. The big orcish drinking hall. Hell, we've heard about that place even in Hong Kong. Habanero fried chicken, racks of barbecued ribs bigger than your torso. I'm so there, Seattle. I know, Gobbet. And if we're going to Seattle, you have to stop calling me Seattle, because everyone's Seattle when we're in Seattle, Gobbet. After that, we should definitely make contact with the Yellow Lotus members in Seattle. Once we have been introduced to them, we can start ensconcing ourselves into the Seattle underworld, and that in turn will lead to safety. I don't know about either of you, but I've got a pretty good feeling about this. What do you think, Seattle? You ready to show us the sights of the UCAS and get into a whole set of new troubles? Cause if you ask me, I think that we're gonna have an interesting life no matter where we wind up. Isabel walks over to the nearby table and grabs a bottle of Jomo's Baijiu off of it. I'll drink to that, to the future, right? Whatever it might be. She pulls the cork out with her teeth and takes a long drink. She tosses it to you when she's done. Good fortune in the future sounds right to me. The baijiu burns like a slug of old kerosene and engine grease going down, with the faintest aftertaste of copper wiring and old shoe leather. Not the worst liquor that Jomo's got, not by a long shot. Really. Gobbet laughs, throwing her head back. That's a spirit. No matter what happens when we make landfall, we'll be ready for it. Come hell or high water, we're survivors. Come on, toss that bottle over here. As you settle in for another day on the long trip to Seattle, you feel a sense of calm wash over you. Jomo's rough arias intermingle with the sounds of the wind and the waves, blending into white noise. It's a strangely comforting sound. At the aft end of the room, a wide porthole gives you a view of the open ocean. The sky outside is so brilliant as to be almost blinding. Squinting at the light, you let your eyes close. For now, at least, the horizon seems clear. Seattle feels strange after so much time away. It still feels like home, but it's curiously foreign at the same time. But with Kylie Cheng and your crew on your side, you rapidly make it feel like you never left Hong Kong. Kylie introduces you to Jiang Li Quan, the Seattle Mountain Master of the Yellow Lotus, and through him you find both work and safety. With your help, the Yellow Lotus rapidly expands its influence in the Puyallup Barrens. Business booms in 2058 when Don James the Hammer O'Malley is assassinated, kicking off a gangland war that affords the Yellow Lotus rapid gains in both influence and territory. Through your own skill and Kylie Cheng's trademark ruthlessness, your team steadily carves out a large chunk of the Seattle Metroplex for the Triad. This expansion continues until the Renraku arcology inexplicably seals itself off from the outside world, trapping its 100,000 residents inside. The UCAS military cordons the structure off, casting a pall over the Metroplex. In response, the Yellow Lotus wisely chooses to slow the expansion, the better to remain off the military's radar. The world turns, seasons change, and life moves on. In the following months, Ares Macro Technology takes over the contract for the Hong Kong police force from Mitsuhama. The Tolo Harbor complex is completed, and a new heavily militarized police force walks the street of Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, the feud between the Yellow Dragon Association and the Yellow Lotus erupts into a full-scale gang war in the early 2060s. The Red Dragons prevail in the conflict, and the Hong Kong branch of the Yellow Lotus is completely annihilated. The Triad's traditions live on in the Seattle Metroplex under the stewardship of Jiang Li Quan and Kylie Cheng. Duncan's fate is forever a mystery to you. If he lives, you'll never hear from him again. You and your team remains as tightly knit as ever. Together you look to the future, and the text just doesn't finish. Okay, video game. Alright, so that's the extended campaign of Shadowrun Hong Kong. It's okay, I mean, I get it. Like, we get overpowered in the end, and so all the battles are crazy big. Like, there's way too many enemies. It's okay, I mean, it's still well balanced, right? You can still get through it. The story is okay. I mean, the settings are a little bit like half-baked, like the impound lot and the pirate ship. Like, it's kind of like it's not really complete. It doesn't feel like, in the sense that it just feels like a place that you are, and like it doesn't really, you don't really feel any attachment to it. I guess it's missing the side characters. Whereas like in Hioi, like there's the Go players, for example, and there's like Crafty Shoe, right? And like there are people you talk to. Anything I want to say about the whole thing? It's a decent story. I think I like Dragonfall better than Hong Kong. Hong Kong feels less focused. Although the setting, in a way the setting is more interesting. Just because like Hong Kong's more interesting than Berlin. And I think the ghost story, like the dreams, the bad dreams story is more engaging than the Dragon, than the Firewing story. But in terms of like characters and teammates, I like the Dragon 4 characters better. It just seems like they make more sense, right? The Dragon 4 teams, they feel like a team of Shadowrunners. These guys, like Gobbet is just, I don't know what Gobbet is. Gobbet is just there for the food. Duncan is not a Shadowrunner, right? Isabel kind of is, but she doesn't. It's like she's not comfortable with some of the stuff. Although it's like sometimes she's oddly comfortable with something like with killing people. Rector, you gotta wonder if Rector really belongs in any team. I mean, Rector can play along, right? But he's kind of antisocial, right? Like if you pay him, if you invite him, he'll join. But you know, he's a misanthrope. And then Gaichu's a ghoul. That's just weird, right? Like in one of the missions in the extended campaign, like when we went to the police station, everybody just shot at us because there's a ghoul. Although in many other parts of the game, he was fine. Like a ghoul swordsman in a game where guns are just good. Like he's a little strange. I think like the team in Hong Kong, they're like stereotypes. They're like stereotypes, they're not really realistic. They're kind of a little bit over the top, a little bit cartoonish. Whereas the characters in Dragonfall, they feel like real people with real backgrounds. And they feel like adults, right? Like Duncan's a child. And maybe he'll always be a child. Maybe he's just not like prepared for big boy stuff, big boy work. Whereas in Dragonfall, your entire team are adults, except for Blitz. But I never took Blitz on any runs. He's just there. I don't know. I think Hong Kong is... Maybe this game... It's not bad. Like I don't wanna... Like it's a good game. It's just that the story and the characters, I'm not... I don't really like them. Not the story. No, the story is fine. The main story in the main game is fine. The extension stuff is... I don't know, man. Getting kidnapped by cops and then you agreeing to work with the people who kidnapped you and tied you up and tortured you? Like, what the hell? Just kill them. Like, why are you working with them? Yeah, so that rubbed me the wrong way. Duncan rubbed me the wrong way. But maybe that's realistic. Like maybe you know that's how it is. Like there are some people you just don't like. Alright, let me get out of here. Like it's a decent game, but. And I'm talking about the whole thing now, like the main campaign plus the extended campaign. It's a decent game, but there are like parts that I like and parts that I don't like. And there are characters that I like and characters that I don't like. Which is not what I would say for Dragonfall. Dragonfall, there really aren't any characters that I really don't like. In the sense that I just like, you know, there's some characters that are supposed to be bad, and they're supposed to be like, you know, they're supposed to be hated, and I hate them in that way. Like the Doctor. in Dragonfall, like he's obviously a slimy dude who does bad things, and you're supposed to not like him. But in this game, like there are characters that I really don't like Duncan. I really don't like Duncan. I really don't like Duncan. And the whole game, like you're forced to have these conversations with him. Oh yeah, he's your brother. Oh yeah, I mean, you're real close and you're friends. And then no, I'm just not into it. Just not into it, man. Yeah. And while the main story, like Tianya, the Queen with 1,000 Teeth, that's really good. Like every time the game talks about nightmares, it's really, really good. But then a lot of the other stuff is just not that interesting. Like the Ka-Fi family is just kind of boring as. Even Ambrose, Tenam Ambrose is gonna, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it's just a lot of talking and a lot of words, and then you get to the end of it, and it's like, is that it? Where's the story? And like a lot of the conversation is in the game. In this game, feels like that. It's like they talk and they talk, and you wait for them to get to the good part, and the good part never comes. And you're like, oh, okay, right. I guess there's no good part. So if this game was more focused, if they cut out the fluff, and it's just like the nightmares and Chanya, and if Duncan just stopped whining all the time, then I'd like it a lot. Like I took Dragonfall seriously. I took the characters seriously. I took the story seriously. These guys, I don't take these guys seriously. I mean, Goblet's fun, but I don't really take her seriously. I don't take Duncan seriously. I don't even take Kindly Chang seriously. Alright. Anyway, that's my final thoughts on Shadowrun Hong Kong, and that's the end of the Shadowrun trilogy. I'm gonna end the video here. See you in other games. Alright, bye.